All right, so Mo does not lose it very often, but there was one email that he got here that's really kind of got him reeling.
Yeah, man. I guess I get a lot of emails and DMs that I don't know if it's the person's intention to like bother me, but most of the time it just rolls off my back. I don't think much of it. But in this case, I'm not. It's kind of the timing of it was weird because it was fresh off of me watching the Colin Kaepernick doc, and a lot of what he addresses in the documentary are things similar to this. And this particular email, for whatever reason, just like popped up on my phone. And normally my emails don't do that. So it was kind of weird. And it was one of those things where when I started to read it, I was like, I probably shouldn't finish this because by the end of it, I'm going to be pissed off.
You're going to be incensed.
Right. But I couldn't stop. Like I just kept going. And by the end of it, it was so much that I wanted to address. And I didn't know if I should just ignore it, if I should address it, or what I should really do. So I thought about it, and I just finally came to the conclusion that if this gentleman wanted to really have this conversation with me, or if he wanted to really talk about some of the things within this email, then I'm going to give him an opportunity to do it. And so that's what I've done. And I guess I'll just read the email in its entirety to you guys so you can get a feel or a sense of what I went through reading it. The email reads, I'm a 57-year-old big white guy. I get along with everyone no matter the color, religion, etc. I've come to find you as a very talented, funny guy. If I had to pick a favorite on the show, it would be you. I love your stories along with your playlist. I recently came across the episode of you talking about meeting Tyson Fury's cousin and thoroughly enjoyed your account of the entire story. Until you mentioned the part about getting the chance to meet Tyson Fury and being disappointed and hurt hearing the N-word while he was singing a song. I was shocked and offended. While I understand the hurt and the pain this word can and has caused to many, it's a word. Unless you can tell me you feel the same way when you hear a black guy use this word in a song or one of your friends uses this word when you were out with your friends, this word, in fact, makes you the racist. I cannot say that I don't use this word, but I would never use this word when speaking to someone. I know it's a laughable cliche when a white person says he has black friends, but my buddies, who happen to be black, called me the N-word daily. I would never repeat it back to them, but some of the other white drivers do. I think they do it to try to look cool. I know this is long-winded, but with the seriousness of this topic, I feel it needs a full explanation. My point is that if you're okay with your friends or any other black individual, from comedians to rappers, to use this word, but they're not okay with the white guy using the word, especially in a song, then you are the racist. If it's an evil word, then it shouldn't be okay for anyone to use it. My thoughts on you have not changed. I feel you are an extraordinary person. Just wanted to bring up a point that my friend Jonathan taught me. He happens to be black and was raised in New Jersey. He tells me that racism is a farce used to promote hate. While I disagree, I feel most everyone is racist to some degree. But that is a whole different argument. Again, I hope you don't take this as a personal attack. I just wanted to promote thought. P.S. If you would like to speak on this or clarify anything, you are very welcome to call me anytime.
I'd love to talk to the guy tomorrow on the show if he wants to come on. But this is not a shocking email. It's the same kind of call we've taken for the last couple of years where white people call up and they say they don't understand it. And as many times as you've tried to explain it, I don't know that some are like embracing the history and why it doesn't make any sense.
And that's why I was confused on if I should even address this at this point, because you get to the point where you're just tired of addressing it. And go.
He said this is not a personal attack, but he called you a racist.
Exactly.
Like that. How much more personal can you get?
It's so many things that upset me about this email. And the simplicities of it, because there's so much I could dive into. Number one, spell my name right. It's 3 letters. Like that's number one. M-O-W.
Mow? Like you mow the lawn?
Yeah,
like the lawn?
Yeah, like that's off top. If you're going to personally attack me, just get the name right.
If you're going to call me a racist, spell my name right.
That's all I'm asking.
If they got Mo wrong, how did they spell racist?
or anything else
I'm like,
in this email?
I want to clarify. I was offended by the whole thing, but for some reason that one got me loud.
Anyway.
Listen, black people never care about what your black friend thinks. You can't say, all right, I know it's typical to say I have a black friend, but, and then tell me what your black friend thinks. All black people don't think the same. Nope. It does not matter what your black friend feels. Like, I cannot stand that. Like, we're not interested in that. Number two, as far as, like, I don't understand what's so difficult about why a black person feels like you can use the N-word with only black people. If you see two women conversing, a lot of times you'll hear them friendly call each other the B-word. But if a man jumps in and does it, it's an issue because he's not a woman. He does not share those same struggles that the two women share. You are not a part of that. That happens in every other group. Fraternities, sororities, gangs, you name it. There are words that they can use with each other, even family. Your family members can call you certain nicknames that people outside your family cannot call you because they're not a part of that culture. It's that simple. I don't know why this is so difficult to understand. And when you try to tell a black person you can't use the word, like it's just privilege is all it is you don't want to accept that there is something that you cannot do. It's not a difficult thing to understand. And it's so frustrating that you feel like I have to keep explaining this for a gentleman like him, who at the end of the day, he ain't going to change his mind. So it's like the people that you're talking to, they're not going to get it. So it feels like a waste of time because it's not difficult to get. So you know who gets it and who doesn't. And I don't know how to go beyond that. And as far as the racism thing, that's another thing I don't understand about why you can't, like a black person, racism, the basis of it is systemic racism within the facts that we can't get certain jobs. We can't go to certain schools. We can't act certain ways in public. Those are things we deal with every single day. A black person does not have that power to do that to a white person. You do not have that experience. So we cannot be racist in the way that you are trying to call me a racist simply because I'm offended by a white person using a word. And what I said was I didn't care that he used it because I did say that I know that a lot of white people use it on their own. I cared that he did it being recorded and didn't even care when you know you have black fans and black supporters. That to me is now you're being disrespectful on top of using it. That was the other part that I had to address with him. And I don't get how any of this was difficult to understand. And then you tell me that even though I was offended by a white person using the word, you don't look at me any differently. Well, gee, thank you. What do you want me to do with that? I was just so offended.
Yeah.
Like, this was the kind of email that literally ruined my day. And instead of running from it and ignoring it, I was like, maybe just let me address it and get it off my chest.
I don't understand the ego in this. And again, we have said these things time and time again, so excuse me if we're repeating ourselves, but there are hundreds of thousands of words in the English language.
So many.
Hundreds of thousands. Tell me that I can't use one because it offends an entire race, and I got no beef with that. I got hundreds of thousands to choose from. That's the one that's off limits, even in my own home. Even in my head, it's off limits.
But for some white people, that is the only time they've ever felt oppression, is not being able to say that word. So they latch onto it and they write Mo emails. And gosh, I'm surprised he even got the email till you spell an M-O-W at the BertShow.com, idiot.
I didn't think about that. So you spelled it right to get it to me and then spelled it wrong in the email.
That's on purpose.
The important part to me is, did they spell my name right?
He said your name in it?
Bert.
Bert Show?
Is it B-U-R-T?
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Did he call me
spell your
Dobby like
name
the house
He
elf?
got my name right.
He got your name right. Ain't that about it?
Yeah, I'm white.
The guy did agree to come on tomorrow.
Oh, he did?
So we will hear from him tomorrow.
Outstanding.
The Bert Show.